Hola and welcome to No Ball Games Podcast, episode 3. Let's get into it.
Jesus. Did you go to Allah?
So here we are again, episode 3 of the podcast that people are fast calling shit. Finally, I hear the world shout the opinion of two white men. Brilliant. You like Bruno?
All good, man. All good. Jesus Christ, what a start.
What's crying out for us, Bruno? There's a gap in the market. So let's start. I'll tell you what, we say a couple of messages because it's our mate Liam's birthday.
Yes, true.
So we want to say happy birthday, Liam.
Happy birthday to you, man.
Many happy returns. Your final year on this earth will be a good one.
Yeah.
It's my granddad's birthday today as well, Bruno.
Oh,
85
really?
years old today.
You know who's going to be 87 tomorrow?
You.
My grandmother.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, he's married. I was going to say we can get to hook up, but I don't think my nan would be happy with that.
Well, the thing is, I don't think they will be able to hook up anyways.
No. But yeah, happy birthday, Grandad. This is definitely going to go out probably a few days after, but it's their birthday today. We're recording on a Sunday. It's a birthday, so
I hope Liam is still alive to listen to this.
yeah. Well, it was a bit of a letdown, isn't he?
Anyways.
So we'll start off with the biggest news in the world right now. A difficult subject, but we'll get it out of the way. I've written down some of the things I want to say because it came to me sort of late on last night and difficult to remember things that I think about, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's the
alcohol abuse.
I was going to say that it's probably...
So we spoke last time about George Floyd's murder, okay? And we've seen a massive response around the world. And we've seen massive support for the Black Lives Matter movement. A lot of emotional speeches. I think, did you see John Boyega?
I saw, John Boyega. Yeah. I saw John Jones from the UFC.
Anthony Joshua did one in Watford as well.
Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
I saw a few of them.
And there was another guy as well. Do you know who Toby is from the Sidemen?
Yes.
YouTuber Toby Jizzle.
And also
he was doing a live stream.
Chuck Liddell was out in the streets in the States, yeah.
Well, I have to say fair play to Logan Paul because he was front line supporting it. His brother was arrested for joining in with looters. I don't know if he was looting, but he was in the area.
I saw that on the news as well.
Absolute idiot. You've got one brother putting in actual effort and trying to help, and then the other one doing that. But fair play to Logan Paul. But Toby Jizzle of the Sidemen was on a live stream. It was a very, very emotional one, and you could feel it. You know, I defy anyone to watch. I think the passion these people are speaking with and not feel moved.
Did you see the John Boyega's one? You can see the passion as well and how much he's feeling.
I loved the support he got afterwards because he was saying, "Oh, this is probably the end of my career," and literally hundreds of actors and directors have come out and saying, "Nah, we want to work with you, bro." You know.
Yeah, but he's doing what he thinks is right, so he's standing up for his rights.
We were going to have our friend Paolo with us, who is obviously in a much better position to speak about this thing, being from Angola, has experienced racism at its very darkest core. But he couldn't make it, so we'll say a couple of words to try and support what we can. What I will say is the riots, they're an excuse. They do not support the movement. I do not believe that in a moment. I understand the anger, but all you're doing is damaging your own communities.
But that's just people taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and this is the point. You are damaging your own communities, so you are the only people that feel the negative impacts of that. Yeah. So if you want to make a difference, every single one of you register yourselves to vote, and when the voting comes, make a fucking change.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can do.
Yeah.
But that's what everyone has been saying. That's what John Boyega was saying as well. Just register to vote, and then please just vote for change. Simple as that.
The protests, however, are very important, and I respect every single one of those people taking a knee and standing up to these terrible authorities. Not all of them are bad, we know that. No. But the problem is, too many of them are. And if you've got racist people in a police force with power over others, it can't continue.
No. Did you see the woman that was hit by a horse?
Yeah.
The police officer and a horse trampled her. The one that was pushed on the floor.
Disgusting.
That old man, that old white guy. This is how it shows that they don't give a damn about anyone. not only black or white, they don't give a damn. The old man that was in front of the police officers, they just shove him to the floor. He starts bleeding from his head, ears, whatever, and nobody cares. Not even one police officer cared about it.
Yeah.
And it was an elderly person. It was not a young person. And that man wasn't there for sure to try to hit anyone or anything at all.
No.
So it doesn't make sense.
See, I'm also sick of what I've seen on Facebook from white people constantly posting stuff, seemingly defending themselves. Let me say this, right? If you're doing that, you clearly don't get it, right? Being pro Black Lives Matter isn't anti-white, okay? You do not need to defend your race. You're not under attack.
Of course not.
Black people are on a daily basis. And if you support anti-racism, you're not a racist, then you should be backing this fucking movement 100%. And this movement isn't about being anti-white, okay? It's about justice for not just the people that we know about now that have lost their lives recently in the last few years, but the hundreds and thousands of nameless black people that have lost their lives to white authorities.
It's, in all fairness, I think you're right. I saw a video where they named a few people that didn't even came up on the news that were actually murdered by police officers. And
well, there's plenty in the UK. You can look it up.
Yeah, but I was watching the one in America because my friend Jeff from Miami, he sent me through some videos and also some Instagram groups. Sorry, I'm lost. That actually monitor everything that's happening, and they're showing all the footage that doesn't go to the TV, and it's absolutely fucking disgusting. Like that clip from Trump. I don't know if it's from now, if it's from his election.
No,
I think it's from the election.
It was from he was mocking. I can't remember who it was, but it was a long time ago. It was nothing to do.
No, but still,
it was nothing to do with this.
But still, it's ridiculous.
Well,
people are using that.
People have used that as propaganda.
Yep.
Listen, Trump's a cunt. I don't support that guy in any way, shape, or form. But that is propaganda at its worst kind. You're not helping the issue by doing things like that. You're just giving yourselves less of a leg to stand on if you're resorting to the things that they would.
I don't know how this is gonna go now. I actually asked because I have friends in the States. I asked Jeff how's everything now, and he said now it's much calm. It's more relaxed in the streets. But last week it was like hell. It was literally a war in Miami. That's a place. If you think about it, Miami is literally the less racist place in America.
Well,
Miami is. It's impossible. You cannot be a racist in Miami because.
Well, you can. You just don't speak openly.
No, you don't see many people being racist there because there are so many cultures, so many people from different countries. Well, Americans, but that come from different countries. That racism there is not something that you see in Miami. But again, they took it too far, and there's a place in Miami called Bayside where they have a lot of stores, everything, and they looted the entire place. They went to the Louis Vuitton store. And they left it completely empty. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's the problem. You're not helping it. You're making it worse. You're making the situation worse. And the people that actually want to peacefully protest and get justice are not being heard because the only reports that are going to come from it are the people that are looting and stealing and profiting.
Then you have the guy with a crossbow.
Yeah. Well, there's one more thing I want to say about this, and it's to the people that are also using photos of Lee Rigby and Lee Rigby's name to basically attack the Black Lives Matter movement. You think you're using it to back up your own race, something you shouldn't be doing and need to do anyway. But his own mother has come out against it and said you're physically hurting her by doing this. I'm going to read her statement. So, as a foundation and a family, we are aware of the number of posts using images of Lee and his murder in a divisive way to fuel arguments against the Black Lives Matter protests. Seeing his image used to cause hate of any kind, especially for those exercising their freedoms in protest against the issue, hurts. We ask you all to please stop using this image and memory in such posts, as he was a lover of all humanity. So please stop. You're literally hurting his mother. So come on, move on from that. So this is a couple of final things I want to say about this. What we want here is unity. Okay, we want a fair and equal society for all, and together we're stronger. So register yourselves to vote, and when voting comes, that is our opportunity to make real change. Okay, So register yourself, get and vote when you can. So for anyone seeking any information on the Black Lives Matter movement, or any looking for ways to help, etc., what we do is we'll post a load of links in the description of this video, and you can find some resources as well. We'll put some stuff in there for you guys, anyone who wants to help or support the movement or anything. We'll move on from that, because how many people have been speaking about this, and a lot more, like I said last time, people are a lot more qualified than us. So tell you what, Bruno, let's move on to lighter notes. Let's move on to some transfer news.
Ooh.
Exciting times, especially as a Chelsea fan.
As a Chelsea fan, and not only, I was looking today, apparently United agreed a deal with Van der Beek.
Yeah, they've been pursuing him for a while.
That's not too bad. And you guys apparently struck a deal with Werner.
Yeah, I mean, by the time this goes out, it's either going to be wrapped up or it's not, basically.
Yeah.
But I'll be excited when it's finally confirmed. But he's a quality player and good fit for Chelsea.
I think so.
Him and Ziyech coming in, that's good business. And there's big, strong support that Chilwell could be another signing.
Yeah, but I saw on the news that you're going to have to pay at least the same United paid for Maguire.
No, that's false reports. If you look today,
I hope
60
so.
million is still a lot, but that's sort of what's being quoted. 50 to 60 million would be what we have to pay.
But what's his name? Adama Traore, probably going to Liverpool.
Well, if they can afford him, they couldn't afford Werner.
But yeah, but we'll see what happens.
I don't think Wolves will let him go for less than 50.
Yeah, and
Why would they?
I wouldn't.
They don't need the money.
I wouldn't. They have a good squad. United is trying to get Grealish as well.
They'll have to pay over the odds for him as well.
Yeah, he's going to be expensive, very
A
expensive.
bit overrated, if you ask me as well.
And how do you rate this interest? Tottenham interested in Zuma.
Well, Tottenham aren't going to be able to buy anyone, Bruno. Shall I tell you why? Now, this is fucking ridiculous, right? They've just got a £175 million bailout by the Bank of England.
I know, I saw that as well.
So that's to run their club. If they then go out and spend what would be about 30-40 million on Zuma, there's going to be taxman knocking at your door, Bank of England knocking at your door saying what you're playing at. They furloughed staff, and they've gone the audacity to then go out and pay ridiculous money for a player.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
doubt it. They're apparently the 8th richest club in the world.
Are they?
How are they that? How when they're borrowing money from the Bank of England?
I don't think they are.
Exactly. It's false.
I have another one for you. Arsenal wants to buy Thomas Partey from Madrid Athletic.
Well,
that's
but
going to
he's
be really
expensive.
expensive.
So I've heard that they're looking at a final midfielder.
Which one?
Orkun Koçu, Turkish guy.
Okay.
I think he's 18 or 19, but he's going to cost them at least 23 mil.
But there's going to be someone in the market that will maybe shake it a little bit. Dembele from Barcelona. They want to sell him. And I don't see them selling him cheap. Even though they want to sell him, they will try to sell him.
They'll try and push him for probably for about 70, 80 mil.
Yeah.
They won't get what they paid for him, but...
No, they won't. There's another one that United is going to loan Daniel James.
Yeah, apparently if you're going to get him on a new contract, then maybe loan him out.
Which I don't think he should be loaned out. He's actually a good player.
He's not really got much to his game other than pace, has he?
Yeah, but still.
Decent player, yeah.
For Man United.
A loan could be good for him, though.
Yeah,
Maybe
to grow up.
he's possibly not quite at United's level at the moment, so loan him out, he'll get experience and more quality. It's good for him. You know, there's a lot of Chelsea players that have done that and come back and been really good.
Now that we're talking about football, what do you think about Pogba's return? Do you think it's going to be him and Bruno Fernandes? Do you think it's going to be a good choice to play them both?
It depends how they're both deployed. I think you could work with both of them and they could be a very good partnership.
I think it depends on how Pogba comes back.
Well,
His mind.
I think the problem we have here is Pogba doesn't want to play for United anymore and United don't want him. They want to get him off the books because he's a high wage and he clearly doesn't want to play for the club.
But who's going to buy him?
And you know, I think it's pretty clear to see what Solskjaer thinks about him, or Solskjaer, whatever you want to call him.
Well, we'll see.
Well, Real Madrid are the only team. Zidane wants him desperately.
Yeah, but how much are they going to pay?
Well, they ain't got no money at the moment either.
100 mil?
Yeah.
200?
Well, it'd be about probably 90, 80. But apparently, all this talk of Real Madrid, they're after Sancho and Havertz. Apparently, they've put 80 million for Havertz and offered that he can stay at loan for the next season as well.
Yeah.
Now, Leverkusen, if they're smart, will reject that because although they can have him for another year and he can do well for him, he's still going. And yeah, 80 mil is nothing to sniff at. But if you've got another club offering you over 100,
you can then,
there's other clubs apparently willing to spend 130 mil on the kid.
Munich is one that wants to buy him.
Take as much money as you can.
Havertz is a really, really good player.
Yeah, good talent.
But I think Wolves is going to lose some of their players. Spurs is now going after Neves.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Spurs are going for these players, but they can't afford them.
Yeah.
Wolves are not going to sell these players for less than 50 mil.
But
Neves is going to go for about 60 mil because they can. And Tottenham can't afford that.
No, unfortunately, no. At the moment, no.
Well, there's news of, Matty Longstaff from Newcastle, the younger brother.
Yeah, sure.
Apparently Udinese are offering him 30 grand a week, sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
Longstaff?
Now, I think that's a bad move because Udinese are not a great club.
No, it's not, but...
They're a mid-table Serie A team.
But he does a good season there, the possibilities of going to a different club.
Why would he go to a mid-table Serie A team when he can stay at a mid-table Premier League team in the best league in the world
It's just
with a club that's potentially getting bought out by insanely rich people,
Yeah.
and we'll end up paying him more if that goes ahead.
I think
The
it's
other team who's being
experience
reported
of
with is
playing
AC Milan, so surely you'd rather play for Milan,
outside. Oh, definitely.
even just for the prestige,
Yeah, definitely.
than Udinese.
I also saw that United is still trying to buy Koulibaly, but
Again.
that's 100 million.
Again, a club
100 million.
that's had a loan taken out a loan with someone else, so can they afford it?
So we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
The other news, Ivan Rakitic potentially returning to Sevilla, the team he was just at before Barcelona.
That's interesting.
They've been looking to get him out of the door for a couple of seasons, it looks like, really. But what do you reckon about that? Sevilla seem to pick up these sort of good players as they're petering out, I'd say.
But they still have like 1 or 2 seasons in them.
Yeah.
So they actually have good teams, Sevilla. At
Getting
least
into the Europa League or Champions League. Yeah.
They won the Europa League 2 times in a row.
Been a long time though since they've actually won that or anything else.
That's not too bad. But there's another one. This one kills me because we all know this guy will never move from Atletico Madrid to Manchester United. Saul Niguez. He will never leave.
No,
Atletico.
that was funny what he did, wasn't it? He said he put a post out saying, "I'm going to announce my new club in the next few days." And he's actually set up a youth club, a youth team. I thought that was really funny. He's obviously baited people as well.
This guy will never leave Atletico. He's one of those that's going to stay in Atletico for a long, long time.
Probably. I mean, it depends how. I would say all of this depends on how long Simeone's there. If Simeone moves on,
Half of that team leaves.
possibly. Not definite, but
No, because they want to play with him.
I think with that, going back to that Partey Arsenal link, I think he said a while ago he'd love to play for like Arsenal or something. But the problem is the amount of money that Atletico are going to ask for him. Because again, they don't necessarily need it. Okay, they've spent a lot of money on a new stadium in the recent years, but they got a lot of money for Griezmann. So do they necessarily need to accept what Arsenal would be willing to spend? Or can they ask for 60, 70 mil? Because someone is going to pay that. The likes of Paris Saint-Germain, for example.
No, PSG will buy anything.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Juventus, they're going to come in for these players.
What about those news that Roma wants to buy Pedro and Vertonghen?
Listen, Pedro's been a great servant, not just for Chelsea but for Barcelona. But he is on his way out. So if Roma would be a good fit for that side of player,
probably.
And I'd say all power to him and wish him the best of luck if he wanted to go.
Yeah. They want to buy Vertonghen as well, and they're trying to loan Smalling again another year.
Yeah, well they wanted to buy Smalling, but I think United were asking too high a price.
Yeah, so they decided to go for another loan.
We'll give him another year because he might not be. The problem is he's had a good season, but if they buy him and then he's suddenly that was a fluke season, is it going to be a beneficial one for him? So loaning him again, if he has another good season, shows you he can do it.
Apparently Pjanic said no to Chelsea and PSG.
Yeah, I know, but I find that one strange because it doesn't seem like Chelsea are even interested in the guy. Look at Chelsea's transfer business at the moment and the way they're trying to change the club into this young, talented one.
Yeah.
They're not looking for older players. The guy's 30.
No,
It seems strange that Chelsea would go for that. He is don't get me wrong, quality player.
No, he's good.
But there's a reason Juventus don't want him anymore.
Yeah, we discussed this last week, I think,
Possibly
through message when we were talking about Chelsea hiring all these young kids and having a good squad, exciting squad.
Midfield is not a position where we need players. Let's be
No,
honest.
you have
we're,
Kante,
we're unbelievably blessed with insane talent in that midfield at the moment.
Kante, Mount, Loftus-Cheek.
Loftus-Cheek, Gilmore, Jorginho, Kovacic.
It's actually good.
And now
Bellotti,
Ziyech as well.
Bellotti apparently going to Everton.
Yeah, well, he had that good season a few years ago, didn't he, at Torino when he was being quoted as an 80 mil striker. No one came in for him, and he's not been that good since.
Honestly, to buy someone from Italy, younger, because he's still young, he's not that old. Bellotti.
Well, it hasn't worked for Moise Keane, has
I
it?
would go and buy the guy from Fiorentina, Chiesa.
Yeah, but he's not a striker, is he? He's a wide man.
He's a winger, yeah.
And I don't think Everton can afford him with the money they're going to ask for him.
Chiesa will end up going to Juventus or getting out.
Yeah, well, he was apparently a target of Chelsea and United, but I don't think Chelsea are going to go in for another winger at the moment. I think full-back and possibly another centre-back is probably going to be where they look to strengthen, and probably another keeper. I don't think Kepa needs more time. You know, in terms of goalkeepers, he's still young. He's got proven quality. He just needs more time to settle. It's his first or second season, you know.
But still,
some players take longer than others, and he's a keeper.
Yep.
David De Gea, one of the best keepers in the world for a good few years, took ages to settle at United.
It's normal.
Exactly. So give him time, but I do think another good quality keeper there as well would help him. Caballero's decent, but he's not reliable.
No, I actually think goalkeepers is probably one of the most, how can I say, ungrateful positions.
It's the most difficult position in the game.
Because if you make one mistake, you can cost the entire game.
Whereas if you're a striker and you miss one mistake, an open goal, you're going to get another one.
I mean, you should have seen. I'm talking now because I remember I saw this during this week. The Portuguese league restarted again. Porto lost 2-1 against Famalicão, and one of the goals, it's a complete fall from the goalkeeper. He literally gives it to the striker. And Sporting drew 2-2 with Guimarães. Again, one of the goals is the goalkeeper, instead of kicking the ball away, just put it on the foot of the striker. So,
although that keeper for Sporting is quite good, isn't he? Maximiano.
He's good. He's young. He's very good. It pains me to say it, but he's actually good. Yeah.
One of their few
I cannot complain with the goalkeeper we have. I think he would actually be nice in England. You know, he would learn a lot.
His frame's a bit.
But the thing is, he's actually a good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to stay in Benfica for long.
I don't know. I think he's limited. I don't think he's going to go on and be an Ederson.
No, not Ederson, not Oblak. Yeah. I cry every time I think those two were our goalkeepers. You know, it's complicated to think about that.
What else we got?
I don't even know. There's so many rumours, you know. The problem is you have too many rumours.
Well, we're bored of that anyway. Let's talk about Bundesliga, the only football at the moment. Again, there was games this weekend. Leverkusen, Bayern Munich ended up 4-2 to Bayern. Apparently a good game, that. I didn't watch it. I haven't seen the highlights yet, but 4-2 scorelines generally suggest it's been a decent game.
It should have been.
Dortmund won as well, 1-0 against... can't remember.
I don't remember.
Leipzig drew with Paderborn, bottom of the league. I knew that.
I'll tell you straight away. Let's double check the facts here. Okay. Oh, Augsburg, whatever, is losing with Cologne today. 1-0. Schalke 1-1 with.
Yeah, they were pretty woeful again. Union Berlin with a better team.
Bremen lost 1-0 at home with Wolfsburg.
There you go. They need to work. The thing is, they've got this opinion that they're too good to go down, and they've got a lot of really good individual players. I think it's Maximilian Eggestein.
Eggestein.
Really good player. He won't stay there if they go down.
Dortmund was hurt,
but they've got nothing up front. Yeah, Hertha, that was it. Yeah, but Bremen have got nothing up front.
This was actually.
Pizarro still plays for them. He's 41 years old.
No, this was good. Look, Leverkusen against Munich was good. They went 1-0 up. Leverkusen 10 minutes. Then suddenly they conceded 4 goals, and they only scored in the last minute.
Well, Bayern have got that wrapped up again, and it seems to be the same way this season. But Dortmund get close, but not close enough. And it's weird how many German football fans are so against Leipzig coming in as new money and trying to change the status quo. If you were a fan of the likes of Schalke, Werder, Leverkusen, Hoffenheim, Mönchengladbach, surely you would want a team to come in and challenge Bayern, because all Bayern do is sign your best players 90% of the time on a free, because they tap them up for 2 years until their contract runs out. Surely you want someone in to come in and dethrone them Because Dortmund aren't getting there at the moment. They keep getting close, but never close enough.
No, because at the end of the day, they really have a good squad. But Bayern, they buy the best ones.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Well, I think they're probably going to have a huge issue with Chelsea signing Werner, because normally they snap up all the young talent, don't they?
But imagine,
And they wanted him.
you guys taking Werner, Havertz going somewhere else.
Abroad,
That's
yeah.
straight away 2 guys that could go to them that gone.
Yeah.
No chance.
Other football news, Bruno. Some of the Premier League teams have been playing friendlies in their own stadiums, internal squads, 11v11.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it looks like they're ramping up their return, which is next week, I think, or it's on the 17th of June.
It's not too bad.
So that's looking good. We'll soon have the Premier League back, so we'll look forward to that. Let's move on to the next section. So he speaks Portuguese and he's wanted for crimes in Italy. No, it's not Robinho, it's Bruno Diaz. Weird news, Bruno. You got some for us this week?
Yeah, I have maybe 4, 5. I found one. This is a weird, not weird. It's weird news, but the title is "My Sister's Baby Will Be Bullied for Naming Her After Her Favorite Vegetable."
Oh, what's her name?
So basically, this woman loves
avocado as well?
no. This woman loves mushrooms so much, she decided to call her baby Portobello.
Oh my god.
And
It's not even Portobello. Portobello.
Portobello, yeah. And
She's white, isn't she? She's white and middle class, isn't
she's
she?
white, yes. And it's weird because they said, oh yeah, the name is Portobello, and yes, she did give me permission to share it here. Like the mushroom. At first I thought she was joking, but then she started saying how we could just call the kid Bella for short.
So why not just call her Bella? Why do you have to call her Portobello? Why is Bella not good enough if that's what you're going to fucking call her anyway?
And then she got really irritated, pointing out that I have my weird obsession with fried chicken as well. So why can't she have a weird obsession with her favorite mushroom? And the answer was, I told her she can be obsessed with whatever food she likes, but you don't see me make plans to call my firstborn the Colonel.
Colonel, Bruno.
Yeah,
Not Colonel.
yeah, I know, but you know,
Yeah, what you calling your kid? Kentucky? We can just call him Kent for short.
yeah, we call him just KFC. That's fine.
Call him Kent or Ucky for short.
Call him Nuggies, McNuggies.
Yeah, call him Nuggets and call him McNugget.
It's funny. But this is one of those. I don't know. Bella, Portobello. If I ever have a kid, I'm gonna call her, I don't know, Cucumber, something like that. But I hate cucumber, so that will say a lot about my kids.
Yeah.
So there's another one about a curious young boy inserted 20 magnetic balls up his penis and didn't tell his parents.
Oh, for God's sake.
He didn't tell his parents for a week because he was
How many
scared.
balls?
20.
Where's he got them from?
I don't know. I just want to know how the hell does he put 20 magnetic
Oh my
balls
God, the pain.
up his penis?
Japs eye. Straight down. His urethra.
So, wait. Take a guess. How old do you think he is?
10.
11. Wow. The curious child is from Dongguan in South China. Needed surgery on his bladder to remove the iodymium magnet toys known as buckyballs. So he put some buckyballs up his...
Listen, right? You need to fucking keep an eye on this kid permanently. This kid has got some sort of masochistic fetish at the age of 11. He likes to have pain inflicted on him. He's going to be one of these guys being walked around in a gimp suit when he's older. Move on from that, Bruno. I don't want to think about that.
Okay.
That's grim.
Sorry, but I'm gonna carry on in the theme.
Oh, the same vein. Okay.
The same theme. So this is an Indian guy. He actually stuck his phone charger up his penis, but he told the doctors he swallowed it.
God's sake.
I cannot understand. A patient who rammed a 2 2 feet mobile charger cable up his penis?
2 foot.
What the fuck?
How do they do this without causing themselves extreme, excruciating pain instantly?
No, he said it was for, he inserted it up his penis for sexual gratification.
Oh, okay. That explains it.
But this one is not 11, this is 30 years old.
Yeah, and weird.
Mate, this is what happens. That young kid from China, the 11-year-old, next step is to put a fucking charger up his penis.
Let's hope he doesn't read that story now whilst he's in bed recovering. Oh, that's the next thing to try.
Whoa, they tried an endoscopy because he said he ate the cable, but at the end of the day, he didn't eat it. It's okay. This is a funny name inside this story. The doctor was called Dr. Islam.
Okay.
Said that the embarrassed patient had the habit of inserting cables and other stuff through his penis for sexual pleasure. It's a type of masturbation called urethral sounding, which is the insertion of an object or liquid into the urethra.
What's wrong with just having a normal wank?
I don't know, but Liam, don't get any ideas because it's your birthday. I know you like these things.
Don't treat yourself.
Please forget this. Just stick to the masturbation, not the urethral sounding.
Coming home to that image.
Oh my god. Okay. No, let's carry on. I'm gonna move away from that.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, I'm moving away because in this time of need, with coronavirus, everything,
Rona.
strip clubs actually are doing a favor to humanity, and they're offering drive-through services in the US. And I'm still trying to understand. So what? You just stop the car next to her, she strips, and you go.
Yeah.
But you need to put some money there. Yeah.
Swipe.
You need to put some dollars there. Yeah.
How do you make it rain out your car window? It's difficult, isn't
I
it?
think you just put your hand out and...
Because I doubt you can have the window all the way open. Are they wearing
no.
Are the strippers wearing masks?
No. And you're far away. You're at least 2 meters apart. And there's a little fence. And there's a bucket.
Oh, yeah,
there's a bucket.
Yeah.
There's a bucket on the fence.
Like a church donation box.
It's not a cum bucket. It's just where you put money.
A church donation box. Borrowed from the local church just for this.
I can imagine. You just go there, you put the money on the bucket, and someone, like when you go to the drive-thru at McDonald's, and they go like, for the cum bucket, please go to the next window. Sorry.
What's your order, please? Can I get one with big tits? Yeah, can you go to the next window and pay?
You only accept card payments.
Yeah. No cash at the moment, I'm afraid. You've got no change.
Somebody said it feels really, really good to socialize even from a distance. Mrs. Stranger said. Not Mr. Mrs.
Yeah. Whose wife is that? Rain or Ren?
Liam, don't get any ideas. That's scary.
We need to worry about getting Liam in trouble here, Bruno, alright? Put a statement out. Look, we know no occasions where Liam has indulged in these kind of things.
I don't know why today it's my... Liam is on my
It's his birthday, so you're
crosshairs.
bullying him from a distance.
Yeah, so again, in the States, one guy hired a couple to have some broom sexual fantasy. So they would turn up in his bedroom with machetes. But this thing went so wrong because they literally knocked next door and they went inside the house of someone that was not expecting it.
That's brilliant. Oh my god.
So basically they...
How long do you think he was sat there waiting for them to show up for him? He's like, where the bloody hell are they?
I don't know.
Just hear a load of commotion next door.
So basically they went next door 6:15 in the morning.
Bloody
Went in, and when they realized it was the wrong person, they went like, sorry mate, next door, and they left.
It's like a movie, isn't it?
Imagine you're at
Like a
home
comedy
sleeping and
movie.
2 motherfuckers come in with machetes at 6:15 in the morning. Ah, sorry mate.
Where
it's
was
not
this?
you.
America?
America.
Lucky they didn't get shot.
No, Sydney, Australia.
Okay. I can imagine that Australians actually, sorry mate, wrong house.
Because this guy wanted two men to go into his bedroom with machetes, to tie him up in his underwear and stroke him with a broom. This is very specific.
Oh God, what is wrong with people?
Again, Liam, don't get any ideas.
Poor Liam.
Again, these guys.
If the money's right, Liam, I'll do it.
These guys were arrested. I'll buy a machete tomorrow from.
money's right,
I'll go to Amazon.
The money's right, Liam. We'll be there tomorrow, right, mate? Happy birthday.
So basically, he wanted a broom handle to be rubbed around his underwear. That's
Broom
what he wanted.
handle.
And he was willing to pay $5,000 if it was, and I quote, really good.
It'll be a nightmare if he got a splinter from it, wouldn't it? If it's a wooden one.
Police said the intended client had history of proclivity for engaging the services of people and broomsticks, from what I can see now.
He's got a witch fetish.
Fucking hell. My goodness. So the guys went inside the room and they said, "Is your name Kevin?" "No, I'm not Kevin." "Oh, okay, sorry, mate."
Wait, don't imagine he's like, wait.
What is this about?
What's the deal? Oh, guy paid us to do this.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go.
Let's carry on.
Never tried it.
They even asked him, "Are you sure you're not Kevin? We were told
You
here."
look like a pervert. You sure you're not Kevin? You look like a massive fucking pervert.
I can imagine him going like, no, I'm not. Oh, I cannot. No.
I can be Kevin.
I cannot make this joke.
Yeah.
Let's carry on.
Next thing, Bruno. Enough time on that.
No, it's fine. These ones are fine. Yeah. There was another one that I saw earlier today. I didn't decide to put it here, but it was a bride that gave her wedding ring, to one of her bridesmaids a couple of weeks before the wedding, and that bridesmaid apparently stuck the ring up her ass, and on the day of the wedding took it off and gave it to the bride.
What?
Why? As a revenge, because she was jealous that she was marrying the guy that she loved.
Oh my God.
Women.
What a bitch. You wouldn't choose her as your bridesmaid if you knew all that, would you?
Wait, no. Women. What can we do?
See, a guy would do that for banter. Let's be honest.
I'm pretty sure you would have put the ring in your ass.
You would do that. You'd do that to Liam.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I wouldn't put the ring up my ass.
You would.
Nah, come on.
You would. You and Kenneth.
Yeah, true.
On your lonely Thursday nights.
If we think about it, yeah, maybe.
Right, let's move on, Bruno. Those were good, but filth. Let's be
What
honest.
filth? It was
Let's
actually.
cleanse our minds. We're going to do truth or lies, Bruno.
Jesus Christ.
So this week, it's about football. I've got some truths and lies about football-based things. Facts or non-facts, if you will. Fake news.
I actually had the idea it would be about that because it's all related with the fucking message you sent me.
Could be. May not be. Okay, we'll go with the first one, Bruno. So, Aston Villa have never won the Champions League. Is that truth or lie?
That's true.
That's a lie. They have won it in the 80s.
But it wasn't the Champions League at the time.
Well, it was European Cup. It's what we know as the Champions League today, so we're calling it Champions League.
Okay, but if we
No, we're
want to be
not
thorough,
getting into
if we want to be
technicalities. We're
thorough,
not getting into technicalities, Bruno. You got it wrong. Moving on. Truth or lie number 2. Cristiano Ronaldo scored his debut goal against Moreau Rennes. For Sporting, that is, I should say.
Jesus, that was a long time ago, and I remember when he started.
I'll pick that because you think you know everything.
No, I don't. If I have to bet, I would say no.
Bruno, that is truth. He scored twice in that game on the
Against
7th of
Moreau.
October 2002. Moreau
That
Rennes.
was a long time ago.
Okay, next one. Former Real Madrid, PSG and Stoke City flop Jesse Rodriguez also makes reggaeton music.
That's false.
It's true. He does.
What?
Yeah. Well, he made up these days, but he used to be part of a duo that was making it when he was at PSG.
I don't want.
I watched a couple of the videos. Pure shite.
Not surprised.
Okay, next truth lie, Bruno. Quite simple. Alvaro Morata is shit.
True.
100% true.
True. Yeah.
We're getting 58 mil for that guy.
Jesus.
Well, I'm laughing. That's how much we paid for him. Okay, final one, Bruno. Turkish midfielder Arda Turan once pulled a gun on a Turkish singer and his wife.
Arda Turan. That's true for
Yeah,
sure.
it is true.
It's true.
He
Come
was
on.
out. He was in a restaurant or a bar or something with. I can't remember the singer's name, but the singer was with his wife. Arda Turan was trying it on with her, giving it, laying it on thick. Got rejected. The singer kicked off. He twatted him, beat him up. Singer went to hospital. He apparently showed up to the hospital with a gun.
Turkish.
He was at, where was he at? Istanbul Başakşehir or something
Was he
like
trying
that.
to make a kebab out of him?
Yeah, I don't know, but absolute mental case. Well, that was Truth or Lies this week, Bruno. I think you only got one right, and
No,
that was about
two.
No, you didn't.
The one-
Oh yeah,
the-
Arda Turan.
What? Come on.
Anyway, well, should we do a shot in
Yeah,
your new shot
yeah.
glasses that you brought? What do you want to drink?
I'll go for the little Jackie
Yeah,
Daniels.
go on, pour some out then. You can pour it for us.
Can you put it in the glasses because you're closer? Mate. Come on. I don't want to have a sticky table. It's enough what happens sometimes.
This table's already sticky with the things you get up to.
If you had any idea.
I do, unfortunately. I've walked in on you a few too many times. And that ring.
That ring.
That ring you borrowed.
Liam, tell Emma she's fine with the ring.
It's clean.
It's clean. It will be clean. Don't
Right,
worry.
let's get these out of the way.
It's lunch, mate.
Slancher. Oh, it's not bad.
No, it tastes of apple. That's why it's apple.
Okay, Bruno. Next thing we love to talk about, UFC. So there was UFC, well, the early hours of this morning, I suppose it was, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Rafael Assunção versus Cody Garbrandt.
What a fight.
What a fight.
It was really
What
good.
a knockout. Unbelievable. Anyone who's not seen it and is a fan of UFC, I urge you to go and watch the highlights of the fight between Rafael Assunção and Cody
What a
Garbrandt.
knockout.
One of the best knockouts I've seen in the UFC for a long, long time.
I'm curious to know who got the prize of the night for the knockout, him or
What
O'Malley?
fight of the night? I think the O'Malley fight was fight of the night, maybe.
Because it's the 50 grand.
Mm.
I'm not sure if it was Cody or O'Malley because both of them deserved it.
Yeah, but what a knockout! He was out. Even afterwards, you see him on the
When he was on the stool,
and he's just straight going
crumbling.
forward. Man, what
Even
a
when
knockout.
they said him,
right up to that point as well, it was
Yeah,
just bang.
and his
1
hands-
second before the buzzer as well.
but the motherfucker's hand.
He was a big guy, yeah.
That punch must have been like I don't even know where
That
that
punch
came from.
from
But it hit him.
Olympus. The Greek gods gave him the power.
Zeus showed up out of
Zeus-
nowhere.
Zeus laid his hand. Another fight, the big one between the women. Amanda Nunes, absolute fucking beast, versus Felicia Spencer.
I've never.
Nunes got. I don't know how the girl lasted 5 rounds because she got a beating.
The first round she was gone.
Some of the elbows coming from Nunes. The woman's unbelievable.
The thing is, now with this setup, you can hear everything.
Oh man, the bone
you
on
could
bone.
hear the
Oh.
bone hitting when she was on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the?
So she, of course, keeps her 2 belts, 2-weight champion, only one in the UFC at the moment for men and women.
I mean, I didn't want to. Never.
She looks unbeatable.
I never would love to. Would want to fight this woman. On the street, she would kill me.
Yeah.
On the ring, she would rape
She's
me.
from Brazil. She's from Brazil, Britain.
Mate.
You'd be a dead man, especially since you're Portuguese.
Yeah. I know.
There was the other fight we spoke a little bit about: Sean O'Malley versus Eddie Wineland. What a knockout by O'Malley! Do you know what I spoke to you earlier about it. What I liked about the knockout so much is Wineland's got into a bit of a comfortable position, dropped
That
his guard,
smirky face.
got a cocky smile on his face, dodgy tash. Someone needs to look into the fella for that. And it's just that bang, he's out.
But the
Cold.
way he hits him, you see his when it zooms in,
Yeah.
you see his face going lights
But as
out.
soon as he connects, he walks off knowing
Yeah.
he's knocked him out.
He
He's not
knows.
even looked to make sure the guy's knocked out.
But
He's just
even-
walked off like, I've
Even
knocked
the
him out.
the ref comes and pushes O'Malley away, and O'Malley's like, "What are you doing? I'm just leaving, man. It's gone. It's done." Well, it was, but I saw the prelims as well. Some good fights. There.
Yeah.
I don't know the guys. I saw that little guy, the kid, 20 years old, the youngest kid
Yeah,
in the UFC.
I didn't see that one, but you
So
said
he's
it was
he's 1-on-1. So he won his debut, but he lost yesterday because he fought against a guy that had a lot of experience compared to him.
good. Yeah.
But the kid will be very good. His ground game is good. If he catches you on the ground, you're done.
Yeah.
Forget it. But standing, he's tall, but he's very thin. He leaves too much open space. But for 20 years old, he went 3 rounds taking heavy punches in his face,
Yeah.
and never once he went down.
I think this was again main card. Neil Magny versus Anthony Rocco Martin.
That was not main
That
card.
was
That was
a slow burner, that fight. That was a bit of a dull one.
yeah.
But Magny got the decision after 3 rounds.
Yeah, Rocco.
I've seen him before. He was all right in the other fight I saw him in. I can't
Rocco
remember who it was
wasn't
against,
too
but-
bad. Wasn't bad at
Yeah,
all.
it was just a bit of a slow burner. Like I
Did
say,
you
they were just sort of stalking the ring constantly, throwing every now and again, but not enough. It didn't have the pace that the other fights had.
Did you see
There's
Sterling?
nothing wrong with that. You know, you win a fight how you need to
No,
fight
no,
a
it's
fight how
true.
you need to fight it. But yeah, so what was it? Aljamain Sterling versus
Yeah.
Corey Sandhagen.
It wasn't bad.
First round submission,
It
rear
wasn't
naked
bad.
choke.
The thing
He
going-
came out early.
He
Yeah.
came. It was insane. He came bursting out. But if you, I wanted to go back to the Cody Garbrandt one.
Yeah,
Did you see the speed of his hands? Every time he threw a punch, you could barely see his hand moving. It was like you could hear because there's no one there. You could hear
That's
the
the thing.
wind when it goes.
Hassan Sal was throwing, man. He was throwing some good shots as well. It's just Garbrandt was cleaner.
But that knockout, 1 millisecond before the
Yeah.
bloody buzzer.
But
You
it took
literally
the
hear
ref-
this.
Respect to the ref as well, because he was straight away like, "This is done."
Yeah, it's done.
Straight away, you saw it. It like a lot of refs might be like, "Oh, is he okay?" He's like, "No, this is done."
But it's impossible. The way
Yeah.
he falls down, because the first one
He's
with,
he's just like a dead fish. Like.
yeah, with Sean O'Malley, the guy fall back
Yeah.
and he got up straight a little bit after he got up straight away. This one, it's like they were saying on the
Yeah.
comments. Daniel Cormier was saying, as soon as you go face on the floor, it means you're dead.
Yeah.
You're done. There's
You're
no
done.
point carrying on.
So the thing is, the Sean O'Malley one was satisfying. The other one was just filth. It was filth.
Phil. But he was worried because he went there.
Yeah.
Cody was like, "Are you okay? Everything fine?"
Yeah, I thought that was quite nice afterwards. Hassan Sal was really humble. Well, you have to be when someone does that to you, to be fair.
I never seen anyone knocking anyone in a second to the buzzer.
No, I've never seen
and
that.
He's falling down while the buzzer's ringing. Literally,
Yeah.
you can see him going like this. Ah,
Ding, ding, ding.
you're like, oops.
It's like announcing his knockout. Okay, there was more fights last week, which we didn't see, but I've seen the highlights of. We had Woodley versus Gilbert
I
Burns.
actually saw
Tyron
that.
Woodley.
That was
Burns
disgusting.
Burns was very impressive. It was on the offensive from
w-
like the word go.
What I think it was.
But I'll tell you what,
disgusting.
Woodley's takedown defense in that fight was immensely good.
It was, but at the end of the day, I don't think Woodley was even in the fight.
No, Burns did dominate, but you have to give Woodley credit for his takedown defense because he stood on his feet, he kept defending against it, he did really well, but Burns was the better fighter.
The thing is, Burns, his brother fights as well, on a different
Does he?
weight
Okay.
category. They want to be the first set of brothers to own the both belts.
We'll see.
His brother's a beast.
We'll see.
He's even a bigger beast than him.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens, but
Elsewhere last week, you had a heavyweight fight between Blagoy Ivanov and who is the other guy? I've got it here somewhere. Augusto Sakai.
how was it, Sakai?
Sakai won, but it was a typical heavyweight fight, mate. It was just two sluggers trying to land heavy as they can,
Yeah.
chugging out. no stamina really. And Sakai got a decision, I think, in that.
We
But
forgot to mention one thing. What's her name? Antonina?
we'll get to that in a minute. We'll go through with the list that we got. The other one, another fight between Billy Quarantillo. Great name for.
Quarantino.
It'd be better if it was Billy Quarantino. But he
Like
fought
Quentin Quarantino?
in a fight against Spot Carlisle. It was actually a really, really good fight. Carlisle came out like a storm. He came straight for the flying knee knockout. Missed. But the first couple of rounds, he did really well. He was brutalising, but he just didn't have the stamina.
At least he tried.
Quarantillo had the stamina, outlasted him, won in the end with a submission. You had another women's fight. Oh, sorry, before we get to that, there was a guy, Tim Elliott, who lost to Brandon Royval at flyweight. That was actually given fight of the night, and Royval won with a chokeout as well. You had Mackenzie Dern. She beat Hannah Cyphers or Kuifers, however you say it. That got performance of the night. Dern won with a submission as well. And then sort of, I suppose, the big fight for the women, Caitlin Chukagian, she beat Antonina Shevchenko. Antonina, the older sister of Valentina Shevchenko. And Valentina Shevchenko has already beaten Caitlin Chikagian. So maybe there's a bit of revenge, beating the sister because you couldn't beat the other one, maybe?
I think so. But
I looked at her, because I saw the highlights on Twitter, and they've added her. She calls herself the blonde fighter, and I clicked on her page. One of her, in her bio, she's got best hair in the UFC.
because that's something you really need to be known for in the UFC.
Probably be the best fighter. She can't claim that, so you've got to claim something, isn't it? All right, let's move on for UFC. There was it's more and more of that is going to be making things a lot more interesting, and as soon as football comes back a bit more
Just
full,
have
will be more
one
interesting.
quick thing. Since your brother is not here today, I'm just going to honor your brother with only one Urban Dictionary corner.
If he has anything,
I have one here. Just to
whilst you read that one out, why don't you look for a second one as well?
I cannot read it and search for another one at the same time.
Slide it to the side and then open a new window.
Yeah, I know.
Is that too much effort?
Yeah, it is. Just one is enough. Just one is enough because
it
one.
It'll be bad.
It will.
Is it the one you texted me the other day?
No,
because I'm not going to laugh, am I?
No. Do you know what a San Diego thank you is?
Oh, I can guess, but I'll let you say. I could have a couple of guesses, but I think maybe I should let you tell me.
It's when you kiss someone while they're taking a shit. So I'm gonna put this in a very in context.
See, that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, it's fucking disgusting, but not too bad at the moment. But something tells me the sentence you're about to read out is going to be fucking scum.
No, it's not. It's like, so basically it's like Stan, some random name, goes like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And Roger goes, go give him a kiss while he's farting one out. Go give him a San Diego thank you.
If he's doing the shit, he's not farting it out. Farting out his shit. You've basically just followed through if you've done that.
Yeah, no.
Have you ever been in that position, Bruno, where you've done a fart and a little bit of poo comes out?
No.
Good.
Not that I remember.
Do you ever worry that it might Do you ever worry that it might happen, Bruno, when you've got a risky fart?
No, but now that we're talking about it, I actually have a few Urban Dictionaries.
So you told me you've got one.
I remember because somebody sent me this on my group.
So they've watched our podcast and now they're contributing. I rate that.
So
shout out to the Portuguese massive, the Lisbon massive.
So for anyone out there wondering, or not wondering, so
you're right for a beer, mate.
I still have one. Do you know what a Alaskan snow dragon is?
Oh yeah, it's basically the same thing as the angry dragon.
Okay, so it's an advanced sexual prank in nature. The Alaskan snow dragon is when a male ejaculates into the female's mouth, clamps her jaw shut with his hands, at the same time informing her he has an STD. Anyone will do. It doesn't need to be anything specific.
Anyone will do. Okay. My go-to is always going to be AIDS.
Yeah, she will immediately release the semen through her nostrils, and now you have made her perform the Alaskan snow dragon.
So it's basically the angry dragon with the added element of an STD.
It's
whether the STD is existent or not.
This was funny. I have another one. Let me just find it here because these guys write too much. Oh. Shall we go for this Dirty David? The act of defecating.
That's already funny. That's already funny just with the name.
Dirty David. This comes from a friend of mine. His name
Dirty
is actually
David. Have you heard about Dirty David?
No,
what he's been up to?
This was sent to me by a friend of mine. That's actually called David. It literally.
That's a coincidence.
Yeah. So Dirty David.
A particularly dirty person.
Yeah. This David. Shout out for David. Also known as Nonna.
Nonna.
So, in case you're wondering,
is it a grandma? Isn't Nonna like grandma in Italian?
Yeah, but we're not Italian. In case you wonder, or in case our listeners are wondering, a Dirty David is the act of defecating into a tube sock. and slinging it around, releasing it in the direction of a large person, as in the biblical story of David and Goliath. If properly executed, the dump-filled sock will splatter on said large person. So, putting this in context, my little brother totally tried to dirty David, my dad, when he took his phone away last night.
God damn. It's friendly fire. That's your own father.
Yeah, again, I have another one called Dirty Robert, and it also comes from a friend of mine that's called Hubert.
Is it the same thing?
No, Dirty Robert is...
Dirty Roberto, let's call it that.
Dirty Roberto is fucking a girl in the ass while she's passed out with mono.
Oh my god.
I think we're done.
I don't know if you should have read that one, mate.
I
I think the police need to look into Roberto's
Yeah.
whereabouts.
Okay, let's do the Dirty Andre and we can finish.
Alright,
on
I'll
this.
bet be the last one.
Sorry. Dirty Andre. A sexy daddy with a fat
Is the
cock.
person who said that called Andre?
Yes. Sexy daddy with a fat cock. He's kind of shy at times, but knows how to fucking party. He hates his ex and a lot of life plans. He's never over 6 feet, but you can have everything.
I'll tell you what we do for next time. If hopefully if my brother Liam's back on,
I'll ask my friends to send it.
we'll try and find one for each of us. So we'll try and find the Dirty Bruno, the Dirty Michael, the
But
Dirty
with Dirty Mike, we all know what it is.
Soup Kitchen. All right, Bruno. I've got a question. Before we move on, I've just got to ask you this. What's wrong with a little rub and tug?
Nothing's wrong with a little rubber tug. Nothing wrong.
With a little rub and tug.
Oh Lord, give me
Again,
another
before
beer.
we move on, I don't really use Tinder that often because I find it a depressing place. But I have
Bullshit.
I've recently updated my bio on there to try and be a bit more funny, but also to try and annoy people. Now I know for a couple of people back in Lisbon that will enjoy the end of this bio. But I've just got, first of all, height seems to be a thing on there. I've put my height. I'm a tall man. I'm not going to tell you listeners what it is because, you know, a bit of mystery for you. But I've got on there basically looking for someone to switch off the machine when I'm old. And then the only other thing on there is Chupa Tuamai.
Did you actually put
what
that?
I'm hoping is, first of all, if a few Portuguese girls on there, she'll read it and know what it means and immediately be offended. But I also hope that people that don't know what it means Google search it
And get offended by it anyways.
Imagine it. They're like, oh, that's funny. You know what he said there about switching off the machine, and he's basically just said suck him up.
You're an equal gender offender.
Yeah.
You have no problem.
Equal gender offender, mate. That's a good one. We'll move on from that, Bruno.
Yeah,
I've got
carry
some
on.
rumours for you this week.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard some more rumours about you, mate. I've got 6 rumours for you this week that I've heard on the old streets, the mean streets of West Rizzy. So first one, Bruno, I've heard this rumour that you were arrested last Thursday for indecent exposure.
Yeah, that was.
That's true.
Funny story.
Funny story.
Funny story. No.
Go on, then.
I was just taking some sun in the balcony, and I actually was like, you know, I was in the balcony, and somebody was walking down the canal, and I just said, "Hey, you can see my dick from here."
And someone went, "Whoa, is that too big?"
Unfortunately, it was
No,
the
it's
police.
not.
It was the police, and I got fucked. It was the Met Police, so it was not a good idea.
Yeah, well, difficult times. Okay, next rumour, Bruno. Your PIN number is 8629.
It isn't.
Okay, what is it then?
You did that on the first one, motherfucker. I'm not gonna fall for that.
Catch you out one of these days. One of these days.
The only person here we know the PIN number is Alejandro's PIN number because he never hid it from us.
You shouted it out. All right, let's move on to the next one before you tell everyone what it is. You are a danger, not just to the public, but also to yourself.
Completely true. And it's not a funny story. It's completely true.
It's completely true. He needs help, and I'm, if anything, I'm enabling it with pride.
You are an enabler.
With pride. Okay, next one, Bruno. You shouldn't have done that thing you did at that place you went with those people who were there.
Which one?
That's the rumour.
Mate, it's a long list. I need to go to my little notebook and check everything I did.
What it says is you shouldn't have done that thing you did at that place you went with those people who were there.
Were you there?
This isn't a rumour I've made up. This is something I've heard from someone.
Maybe that's true. Maybe.
It could be true.
Could be true.
Okay.
You need to be more specific.
Okay, next rumour, Bruno. Your right leg is a fraud.
It is. It actually is. I don't even know why I have it.
It's so stupid.
I'm gonna stop ordering shit on eBay because my leg came from eBay. Man. Fucking
So
fraud.
stupid. Did you get it on Wish? But
It came shorter than I expected.
okay, final rumour. You get weekly prostate exams just for the pleasure.
Yeah, I'm almost 40, so I actually need to have that done on a regular basis.
Well, this one says you get it just for the sexual
But
pleasure.
is it auto checks or do I go to the doctor? Because I do both.
Well, it says that, they told me that you do it over Skype and you go for a physical one as well.
Over Skype. Okay, I'm just going to turn the camera on.
You put on a little special glove. You do it easily. But mainly you get the sexual pleasure from the doctor doing it without knowing that he's giving you sexual gratification.
Okay, good.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Well,
you are
Trust me. He
You are a
knows.
disgusting human being.
He knows. He knows.
He fucking knows what he's doing. He's got his pads at his ankles as well.
And both hands on
It's not me wanking him off. He's doing that to himself. Alright, Bruno. We're going to move on. And maybe not the best subject to move on to. But, sorry, go on.
Whatever.
Huh? Okay, so before we fully move on, let me bring up what I've got here. Whilst that's loading, Bruno, what's wrong with a little slap and tickle?
Nothing. Again. Well, depends on the slap. Where you
Yeah.
slap.
Yeah,
And also depends where you tickle.
yeah, and who they are.
That's not a problem. It's just a tickle. No.
Okay.
Maybe some editing.
No, we're not editing anything, mate. We're going to leave it raw. Okay, so next thing I wanted to talk about, there is a new suspect in the Madeleine McCann case. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Before we talk about it, let's do a shot. We forgot. Let's do the honey one.
Yeah. Do we do a shot like the bottle?
No, because the glasses aren't that big, mate.
Yeah, but still. You can do the bottle. From the bottle.
Yeah, alright, I heard you the first time. But we want to use your special little glasses you got, you were bragging about.
We're actually not alcoholics. This is just...
Wait,
It only happens once a week.
this is a cry for help.
That's why we do this podcast. We want people to help us.
Podcast is a cry for help. No one has helped so far. They've just given us constructive feedback.
Shit. Sludge up.
Thank you. Yeah, so a new suspect in the Madeleine McCann case, Bruno. You heard about it?
Yeah.
You have?
I haven't
So,
investigated yet, but yeah.
I'm going to read a little bit of the article. So, Madeleine McCann is assumed dead by German prosecutors. Basically, they're investigating the disappearance of her. They started in 2007, obviously helping out with the original inquiries. So, a 43-year-old German man is being investigated on suspicion of murder. The suspect, who has been named in German media as Christian B. Like it's 50
Wait,
Shades of Grey or something.
30 what?
43.
43. How long did she disappear?
Well,
12? 12 years?
longer than that, I think. 13, maybe.
This guy was 30 years old. Okay.
Yeah, so he's believed to have been in the area when Madeleine was last seen on holiday in Portugal. And the UK's Met Police said it has received more than 270 calls and emails since a new appeal for information was launched on Wednesday. Hans Christian Wolters, good name that, isn't it? Powerful name that. From the Braunschweig, I hope I'm saying that right, apologies if I'm not, Public Prosecutor's Office in Germany said it in an update on Thursday, we're assuming that the girl is dead. With the suspect, we are talking about a sexual predator who has already been convicted of crimes against little girls. And he's already serving a long sentence.
Fucking disgusting.
He said the suspect was regularly living in the Algarve between 1995 and 2007 and had jobs in the area, including in catering, but also committed burglaries in hotels and dealt drugs. So, you know...
Nice mix of...
Yeah, seems like a nice guy, doesn't
skills.
it?
Nice set of skills.
So the McCann's family spokesperson has said that Madeline's parents, Kate and Jerry, felt the new development was potentially very significant. There's more to the story, but I think that...
So they want to reopen this?
Well, yeah, possibly. There's more to the story, but I think we'll end on their words. Potentially very significant. I mean, what we want is justice, really, for what's happened. And if it gives them closure, because they've been under a lot of scrutiny...
They need peace of mind as well.
And it's looking more and more likely that it isn't them.
But now imagine those two twins when this is coming up again, and now they understand it because they were literally kids.
But I mean, I think they'll understand that what they want is to know what's happened.
Because they will be
when you don't have that closure, it's never out of your mind.
How old will they be now? 15, 16?
Younger than that, I think.
Right, yeah.
Well,
let's carry on.
Yeah, so wanted to talk about that. So what do you think about that, mate?
I don't know. It's a bit disturbing, you know. But if they can have closure with this and finally also clear a bit of the air around the Portuguese police, everything that happened.
Well, listening to the type of guy he is, I'm not sure if this guy's going to actually give them closure or actually tell them. That's what these guys seem. These serial murderers, especially when it's young children, they seem to get a gratification out of having some sort of power still over the victims and the family.
But because that's the thing, they will have it. This has nothing to do with it, but it's something I saw this week. I started watching a TV show called Taken, like the movie, but there's a TV show, and there's the sister of the main guy gets killed in the first episode, and in the last one, before he kills the guy, he actually says to him, "You will always be my prisoner because I killed your sister. In your head, I'm always have control over you," and it's the same thing here.
Well, there's a lot of murderers that are like that.
You will always be a prisoner in their mind.
Prisoner of your own mind, not only your own mind, but of their horrific events, because that person's constantly on your mind. Yeah, so I mean, sad news, but if it does give the family closure, then we'll try and move on. But we'll move on from that because it's a grim one. So we'll move on. I've got some jokes for you this week, Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
And I've also got some real newspaper headlines that I want to read out to you.
Okay.
These are real newspaper headlines or like article headlines. And believe me, it's insane. But before I do, what's wrong with a little "How's your father"?
Nothing. Well, it depends. It depends.
Do you have that saying in Portugal?
No.
Do you know what it means?
Kind of.
Alright, let's move on to the jokes.
Wasn't that a joke? Oh shit, I thought it was.
That was just a question, mate.
Yeah.
So I almost lost my job as a roofer yesterday when I was caught masturbating. Luckily my boss said I could wipe the slate clean.
And he did.
This one might be controversial. What are 3 words that Trump will never hear? I give consent.
That's actually true.
We might get if anyone actually watches this podcast or listens, we might get a bit of backlash over that. But who cares? Let's move on.
They can go fuck themselves.
What do you call a Spanish bloke whose car is missing?
I was going to say Alejandro, but no.
Carlos. Where did my mate go when he got lost in a minefield?
In the air?
Everywhere. The past, the present, and the future walk into the bar. It was tense.
Fuck. Jesus Christ.
You fucking hate that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think I've told you this one before. What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
I don't remember.
One is really heavy and one is a little lighter.
It's funny and not funny at the same time.
These are basically work. I looked for puns this week. I have a few jokes about unemployed people, but none of them work.
90%
You'll
of
probably
the
like this one, Bruno. What do you call an overweight psychic?
I don't know.
A 4-chin teller.
Fortune.
That one's really good. This is one. What's this one? Oh, my uncle paid £6,000 for a wig. It was a high price to pay. That's good, that, wasn't it?
It is.
I thought of that one. I'll take credit for that. So I'm reading a horror story in Braille. Something bad is about to happen. I can feel it.
True. That's actually true.
Bruno, will glass coffins be a success? Remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen.
Well, last joke. I lost my job at the bank on the very first day. A woman asked me to check her balance, so I pushed her over.
She asked for it. Jesus Christ.
You need to clarify what you're talking about here, mate. So let's move on to the news articles / headlines. This one is brilliant. One-armed man applauds the kindness of strangers.
How the fuck did he do that? He only has one arm.
This one is really bad. So the news article, there's two articles, one underneath the other, right? So the first one, Boy Scouts to accept gay boys, and then the article below was headlined, In Through the Back Door.
And they will.
This article is just a fucking roller coaster, right? Woman in sumo outfit assaulted her girlfriend in a gay pub because she waved at a man dressed as a Snickers bar.
What?
That is a roller coaster, isn't it?
She was in a sumo
You don't
costume.
even need to read the story, do you?
No.
They're giving it to you in the headline.
Wait, she was in a sumo costume in a gay bar,
With her girlfriend.
and she fucking hit the girlfriend because she waved someone dressed in a Snickers bar costume.
Yeah.
Shit, that's emotional.
Here we go. This one is going to kill you, Bruno. Police say man with no arms or legs is armed and on the run.
How the fuck is a nugget on the run and armed?
That's going to take some editing. Boy 10 steals parents' car, drives 68 miles to visit grandparents, and tells police he's a dwarf who forgot his licence. That's brilliant, isn't it? That's ingenuity.
I'm sorry, but I'm still in the
He's
previous
10
one.
and he thought of that.
I'm still in the previous one.
Yeah, I know.
How? The people... no, my question
That
is...
was
the
in
people,
America.
no, but the people who write this, they must be
I
complete...
think they do it deliberately.
Probably. Probably.
That's the last one. So we're gonna finish there. So I'll end this by saying one of the most powerful performances I ever saw was Dave at the Brits performing his song Black.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna end on a couple of his words. Black is beautiful. Black is excellent. Poignant words in this time we're living in. So guys,
Simple.
thanks for sticking with us. If you've listened for this long or watched for this long, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you want to know when we're uploading.
Yes.
See ya. We out.
See you guys. Bye.
Perfect.